Assalamualaikum everyone, this is your host Zunira Malik. I welcome you all in Spotlight with Zuni, recording with Record on Studio. As we all know, the month of April is known as Autism Awareness Month, a topic that is very close to my heart, and that's the reason I have with me today Anosha Saeed. Anosha Saeed is an SEN teacher at a renowned international school in Qatar, a behavior specialist, and most importantly, an advocate of neurodiversity. Let's welcome her together. Assalamualaikum Anosha.
Walaikum assalam.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I'm good. Pleasure to have you, Anosha. And I would like to start with you, your personal journey, and where were you born, where were you raised? What made you actually pursue this specific field of special education?
So I was born and raised in Karachi, and that's where I got my education. And my encounter with disability was not through my work, it was through my family. So I had two cousins with disabilities, two different cases, and that's like through their journey I found that what I have to do in life.
And may I know, if you don't mind, what were the challenges they had in their life?
So my two of my cousins had very different types of disabilities and two different cases. First, I will talk about my cousin who had cerebral palsy, and the parents didn't get to know about it before birth.
Can you explain more about this cerebral palsy? What is it?
Cerebral palsy is a brain condition, a neurological condition which affects physically, the body physically, a rare kind where his cerebellum wasn't developed, so he couldn't balance his body. Unexpectedly, we got to know about his disability, and he had a rare kind of cerebral palsy where his cerebellum was not developed. And because of that, like, cerebellum is responsible for balancing the body. And his body kept growing, but his mental state was in halt. And because of this rare kind of cerebral palsy, he had going on seizures, which is epilepsy, where you have seizures. And it was, every consultation was an uncertain moment, a confusion, heartbreaking moment.
I'm sure.
Like, the parents had no idea what to do now and where to go. So because of that, we had consultation through neurologist. He said he cannot have physiotherapy, although he needed it, because of the movements could trigger his seizures more. So it was a very difficult case. We tried everything that we could, but unfortunately he passed away. So
at what age he passed away?
13 years old.
So sorry to know that. And then another cousin of yours?
When she was born, the hospital said that she can never hear or speak, and my uncle took it very seriously. Like, he advocated for her. 20 years ago, the resources were scarce, so he didn't know where to go, but he knocked on every door of ENTs, speech pathologist, audiologist. He got to get her a hearing aid, and now she can speak clearly, she can listen through the device, she has her own career.
Wow,
I'm very
mashallah.
proud of her. So
that's so good to know. So that's the reason you opted for this field.
yeah,
You
their journey
decided.
shaped mine.
Yeah.
I knew that what I'm going to do now with my life.
That's amazing to know, Anosha. So Anosha, I'm sure many of the viewers watching us right now don't know what exactly autism is. I would like you to tell us, what is autism?
Autism is a neurological condition. It's an ongoing process. It's a complicated topic. It's a complex type, but I will try to make it very easy to understand. Our brains are responsible for every body part, and in autism, the synapses are different. Some connectivities are over-connected, some are under-connected, and because of that, they experience life differently. You often find them being sensitive to noises, being sensitive to lights. Maybe they don't feel sensitive. Every child or every individual is different in that, and they often struggle with social, emotional, and communication skills.
And the spectrum is huge. Under that comes so many different cases as well.
So it's a spectrum. We put it under the spectrum where not just autism, other co-occurring issues come in line, like autism, ADHD, IDD, ADHD is hyperactivity disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and they can go together, as well as intellectual disabilities, learning difficulties, so they can have these issues. Even now, studies show that individuals with autism go through depression and anxiety more than other individuals.
Yeah, I was just reading about it. Actually, Anusha, even myself in last 3 years in the field of education, I have accommodated few of the levels of autistic children that are comfortable in a normal stream of schooling, because this is the part I feel I can play in the society by accommodating them as much as they deserve this. And but yes, there are children that I can't because of the level they have. Some are with very high level and can't sit in the class, can't sit quietly. The sensory issues are there with them. So somehow I am very much familiar with this field, and that's the reason we are doing this podcast. If you remember, I had a talk with you. So many times I have to accommodate children and the parents with such scenarios. But honestly, there is a rise. I felt a rise in this kind of cases, because every year I receive more and more such cases. So can you just tell me the reason why do you think is it at the rise?
I think there are many factors involved, including increased awareness. Now everybody knows. So even if a child is struggling, if the parent don't know, maybe relatives can point it out that there is something wrong. Maybe you can consult with a pediatrician. Other than that, we have enhanced the criteria. Before it was just a few of the symptoms, but now we have added the other symptoms. Now we have called it a spectrum, and that's how we can diagnose them and put them in the same umbrella.
But do you think our environment and these radiation, the waves we are surrounded with, plays a part in it?
So according to recent studies, genetics are involved in the causation of autism, and these genetic conditions can be affected by environments, and still research is going on about it. So it's not just one factor, causation, one factor that is involved. There are multiple factors, but bad parenting is not part of it. How you parent, how you are dealing with the kids
can make a difference.
It is not involved in autism though. Bad parenting cannot cause autism, which is something I'm hearing a lot from parents. They come to me and they say that when their child is being diagnosed, he's having behavior issues because of underlying conditions. They do face a lot of backlash from the society. They do say that people do think they are not disciplining their children, not understanding that,
not knowing the whole story and not knowing the other side of the story. So that's very unfortunate in the society, and that is why we are here with this podcast, and that is why I want to spread the acceptance of these things that we are surrounded with and our children are surrounded. It's not that when a playground, when we see children, our children are playing with them, and they come up with some statement like that, we need to tell them the level of acceptance needed that time.
I think we need more awareness campaigns where we do talk about inclusion.
For sure.
And I will be explaining the benefits of inclusion later on.
Okay, Anusha, you being a behavior specialist, what kind of situations have you dealt with throughout your experience in this field? And would you like to share some with us?
I have worked as a SEN teacher as well as behavior specialist, and it comes with a big responsibility because you are accountable for the children's behavior. And now I am noticing more children are coming up with massive behavior issues where they are more disruptive, more angry, and there are multiple researches about it, but I feel like it comes because of communication gap that they have. If they are not speaking, they don't have speech, they don't have they cannot communicate with you, that develops aggression inside them. Imagine you want something, really want something, maybe you want water, and you cannot express it. How angry you would feel. So when they come to me, I focus more on communication skills and language development, even though I'm focusing more on academics, but I feel like that's the more important thing to work on the behaviors, work on the speech, and then moving forward with academics. So I had one case, child was non-verbal and he had many medical conditions. So the school said that they will not be able to accommodate him because he had very weak gut and he could pick up any virus or bacteria very quickly. So he used to spend more time in hospitals than playground. And since birth, he never had any social experience with other children. Other than his own family, he knew nobody.
Yeah.
And he came up with so many behavior issues, and I had an idea that this is anxiety. Because I could feel through his body. They do give signals.
Yes, the
What
body
are they
language
feeling?
speaks, yes.
So he was very anxious because he was looking at this big social circle of kids of his age, which he never saw before. So I asked the school to give me a chance, and I took him separately. I used to take his sessions alone, where we used to work on his speech, and I would say the only thing was I was doing with him was playing. And I used to again and again reframe and reaffirm that you're okay, it's all right. It's a safe place. And even though he was non-verbal, he could understand what I'm saying. And with time, I know that because of his medical conditions, he had multiple visits to hospitals. But he was able to be there in the social skill group later on, which was very rewarding for me later on.
I'm sure.
But if you ask me when I started it, it was a big responsibility.
Big challenge, yeah.
Because he had massive behavior issues as well as his medical condition. It was really tricky.
Was this the most difficult case you had? A neurodivergent child, most difficult one?
I think yes. But then I empathize with the parents, and I was trying to feel like putting my feet in their shoes and understanding that they were very they had many questions. They were not trusting us, and I could understand why, because of the sensitivity of this case.
So Anosha, what strategies you think have helped you to bring a change in a child's life, and how challenging it is for you at times, I'm sure, to do your work?
I mix up all the strategies, and to be very honest, I'm very silly with the kids. I become a child, and it's very hard to distinguish who is the child there, but that's how I enter their world. Whatever they like to do, if they like to play with cars, I will start playing with the cars. I will get to know more about cars. And if they're into dinosaurs, I will learn every name of the dinosaur. I'll bring all the dinosaurs. But what I want to take, the audience to take something from here, is to take social stories and ABA and play, mix them. And social stories, not boring social stories where you just have one picture, one line, you have to do this. Create those scenarios, create that social story. For example, you want child to keep their hands to themselves, and you feel like the child is hitting other children or hitting himself. You will try to role play, and you will do to yourself, and the other person is coming and they are telling them, and then you will apply those strategies. Or make it in a way, I do it the child is the teacher and I'm the child, and I'm doing something, and they will tell me what to do.
Wow.
And that is massive. I see big changes, and involving ABA with that, involving play in that. And something that also works for me is token economy. So you have a chart, and you have shared the expectations. The child knows what is expected from them, and if they do it, they will get a token.
Wow.
And if they get, for example, 5 tokens a day, they are going to get something that they really, really want. For example, bubbles, for example, Play-Doh, something
that interests them.
Something that
so they do follow this. They do follow the chart. They look forward to that.
It takes time because if a child is very hyperactive, they are impulsive, they want it then and there. Otherwise, they would throw a big tantrum. So I'll start with 1 token at a time. Just get 1 token. And if you got 1 token for doing something so amazing, then you will get a 2 minutes extra break time, and it's
Wow.
like heaven for them.
That's so
And
nice. That's so nice.
and the last strategy is task analysis, so breaking down things. If they have a very tricky maths question, I will break it down, make it very easy, and that will boost their self-esteem. Like, oh, I can do this. This is very easy, and then they can move forward.
Wow, that's amazing to know. Anusha, what do you think, according to you, your work experience, what are the factors that can bring a change in a society when it comes to children with neurodiversity?
I think inclusion, like
Inclusion.
true inclusion, where you're not just saying that, oh, we do accept children, but when they are having a tantrum in the mall or in the grocery store, you're just giving them the eye, and you're like, the parents are not doing the right thing, and
So we should never judge, actually.
actually, and parents are struggling.
Yeah.
Understand this aspect that they are going through a lot.
They
They are advocating, and they are trying to manage these emotions, understanding what a child wants when a child is nonverbal,
Yeah.
and then moving ahead with that. It's a big thing. So all you can do is just be kind
Yes.
and non-judgmental.
Acceptance, yes.
So
That's
when
the
I say
main thing.
inclusion, I want to share a study by Harvard University that says that inclusion, and truly, like, inclusion means through schools the children are getting exposed to children with needs. It creates more empathetic children, more resilient children,
Yes.
and emotionally strong children, emotionally intelligent children. So it's not something you are doing for neurodivergent children.
Yeah.
You are doing for your children also. And
Yes,
if
for
you are
sure,
being
yeah.
exposed to them in work environments, for example, and you're making accommodations,
Yes.
you are learning creativity, you are
Yeah.
learning resilience. So it's not just for them, it's for you
It's for us,
also.
of course. It's for the society.
It's for the
for the
society.
betterment
and
of the
they are
society.
part of society.
Yes, they are
We
part.
did segregate them first.
Yeah.
Now we are working on it, like putting them together, but
Together.
we were the one who just put them away, make
I'm
them a
sure, yeah,
stigma.
yeah. Back in our countries, still, I think awareness lacks a lot, and we need to bring more and more awareness towards this.
This is something I learned from Doha. Parents here are the biggest advocates.
Yes.
They
That's
are
amazing about them,
their
yeah.
children's voices. They are
Yes.
doing. I saw parents here who are moving across the globe to get the diagnosis, and not just the diagnosis, but the whole health plan, the whole educational plan. They are working really hard, and yes, they have resources, but I think this is something from my country. I want to empower the parents there to do the same thing.
Yes.
because
I feel still there are parents, Anosha, who are in the phase of denial. Still, yeah, even after all this awareness in Doha, I have seen the cases, and I feel very, very sorry, because if you will be denying this, then who will take care of the child then?
I
Acceptance
understand
and-
their perspective.
Yes.
They when they are
They are the most vulnerable, no doubt.
when they have conceived, they haven't thought of it.
Yes.
And it comes in unexpectedly.
Yes.
You want the best for your child, right?
Yeah.
So, but then what I say to them is, earlier the diagnosis,
The better it
earlier
is.
the intervention, the better the results are,
For
according to research.
Yeah.
And that's why globally we are working on the early detection through AI, through the tools, because we want early intervention, because this is very important.
Very important. Anusha, would you like to share with us any of your most difficult experience, but yet so rewarding?
I think the most difficult experience was, I just shared the child who had medical condition, but these constant hitting, kicking of the children with behavior issues is always hard. It's a big accountability, because I am okay if they hit me. I am not okay with them
They hit
hitting
themselves,
themselves,
yes.
or they hitting other children. So it comes with a big accountability, because they are my responsibility, and because of me they are there, and I want them to witness the social experiences, the play and everything.
But what kind of progression do you see by end of the year, end of their sessions?
So I had this one kid who used to escape from work. He never liked to write. And I just made his visual schedule where you put pictures of what is expected, what time is it. And I used to sing, like it's study time or it's break time. And I gave him the break time card. Whenever you want to take a break, you can take a break. But right now it's study time, and we are working right now. and I made it a very clear boundary. Like you cannot escape. And at first, he used to kick me, bite, and he used to escape the table. And even when I was working with him, I struggled with getting him back to the table because he would escape it. Then came a time when he himself put the study card on the board, on the visual sketch.
He was ready.
He was ready, and he was waiting on the chair and table for me to come and work with him.
Wow.
And the most
So
rewarding...
that's an achievement. That's an achievement.
It's the biggest achievement. And I think when they don't need me anymore in educational setting, or when I have to fade myself away, that's what is most rewarding. When they are doing their work by themselves, when they are communicating without
my help. So
my
you
help,
basically make them independent.
That's my goal.
That's
My
amazing.
goal. That they should not need me. One time I had one job where I had 4 kids, 4 responsibilities, and all of with this goal in my mind that I have to make them independent. I always used to say, like, they're very close to not needing me, and my colleague used to make fun of me, like, you're going to lose your job. And I was like, I'm not worried about it. I just want them to be independent. This is something very rewarding for me.
For sure. No, I think you are in a field where you are taking reward not only in this dunya but in akhirah also. Mashallah, that's amazing.
Whenever I am getting hit by a child or anybody,
you're
my
getting rewards up
come,
there, yeah.
They do come and they're like, straight to heaven.
Straight to heaven. For sure. No, mashallah, may Allah give you that strength always, that courage to always be like this. And
I always try to understand, like, this child is for few hours with me.
Yes.
How is it going to be for parents?
For parents, yes. You feel for them.
They deal with all this for the whole day.
Yes.
Never ending.
Years,
24/7. Years.
For sure. No, that's where we have to give a thought.
And all we do is just educate them about autism or other disabilities. Why don't we have support groups for parents where they can just have fun?
Yes.
Where they can just release their trauma, their emotions, where they can be themselves.
There are many parents who does not have any help.
They don't.
There is no house help at their homes, and they are struggling with these
And they
issues.
don't have just one child. They have other children to deal with as well, which
For
makes it
sure.
even harder.
It's even harder. Okay, Anusha, has anyone ever overcome autism? Do you think these children later in future become something? They take over a career, they take degrees.
There are multiple examples of individuals with autism.
I would love to know that, yeah.
There are multiple examples of people who get degrees.
If given the right direction, right?
If
given
the right
education.
tools to navigate, like communication skill, speech, language, all these things. They do get degrees. They do research work.
What kind of fields they pursue usually?
It depends on them. It depends on what do they what do they aspire to be. But I have seen my kids mostly into aircraft. They are mostly into constructing things and
engineering. Okay.
That's where they end up doing, but they are mostly doctors as well, engineers, architects, because of their superpower, which is hyper focus. If they're interested in something, they can give it undivided attention for a longer period of time, which you and I cannot do.
Yes.
So
they're gifted differently, for sure.
There is a story of a child who used to doodle in the classroom, and then he got invited by a restaurant to doodle it on their walls, and it was beautiful. There was one...
That's also inclusion, huh? That these restaurant people
and
approached
they took
him.
something that the school was not being able to see it as a superpower, but the restaurant was.
Yeah.
And I saw a story of a person with autism. He had a view of a whole city through helicopter, and then right away when he landed, he drew the whole map, and it was like no errors in it.
That is big. MashaAllah, that's really big. So good to know all this. So Anusha, how friendly do you think this country Qatar is towards autism?
Qatar is emerging. Qatar is doing many things in the field of research to get the genetic testings and accommodating. They are bringing up new policies. They are making inclusion more available, like inclusion every area. And these parents who are advocating, they are bringing up new ventures for everybody. You can see around you the big changes, like not just for education, for the jobs as well,
Yes.
for internships as well, for like how to manage money, for example, how to groom yourself. So Qatar is doing big things, and these hospitals, they are accommodating as many children for diagnosis and parental guidance as well.
They're making it possible for everybody, and they're creating more possibilities for such families. Mashallah, that's great. Here, Nusha, I would like to add my personal opinion about the healthcare sector in Qatar, that I wish if the Amir could see this podcast, that while my father was recovering at Hamad Hospital after his open heart surgery, honestly, literally, I remember I poured my heart out, not just only for my father in prayers, but the Amir himself, his family, and this country, because of the healthcare facilities they provide us, even the expatriates. Nothing like this anywhere in the world.
That's very true.
So, Anusha, what about the Autism Society group that you were just mentioning me about?
There's a group called Qatar Disability Resources, where there are different sections for each parent to go towards, whichever disability your child has, whichever specific needs. So they do have one for Down syndrome, autism, for rare conditions, and you can go to that, and there are different communities. So in that WhatsApp, that's a WhatsApp group, and in that WhatsApp group you can get access to different resources. You get to know what are the current events going on, so you get to familiarize yourself with what's happening here, what are the opportunities for your child, as well as if you have any specific questions related to your child's need, you can ask in the group, and people are so welcoming, they do answer it very promptly. As well as there is this QSRN card, you get to make it, and through this card, this is a disability card, and through this you can get discount on pretty much everything.
Okay, even expatriates, families with neurodivergent children, anybody
and everybody. They can get access to discounts in therapies, in restaurants, in spas, and anything, entertainment, whatever you think.
Through this card. And how can they make this card? Where?
So all the details are in Qatar group. You can get access to it, but this QSRN card, you can search it on the internet, and you just have to post, I think, your QID and your passport size photos and birth certificate, and something like a report which diagnose your child with a disability. So,
and that report can be made anywhere in any center, right?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
Because I think it's through Hamad and Sidra, but I think it's with other, it can be any other report as well. So you can get access to all these benefits.
Wow, this is something incredible for the viewers watching us right now. And what you think is the most convenient way for the newcomers in Qatar, new people coming to Qatar, new families having the same challenges in their life? Where should they start their process from?
I think they should start from this WhatsApp group where they can get familiarized to all the people, all the community members, all the programs. They can get access to, if their child is on spectrum, they can get access to this support group, which is now a center autism parents platform. And there are other organizations, and Sidra and Hamad are always at your service. It's free of cost. You can get your child enrolled, and you can get any appointment consultation, and they will guide you what type of therapies your child needs. And Sidra is also providing parental consultations as well. Monthly they are going on for parental education regarding disabilities, so it's very easy. And I would like to add, Qatar National Library has a sensory based area for children with autism. Monopoly is now having sensory hours for children on spectrum.
Wow.
So the work is amazing going
everywhere,
on here.
especially in Qatar. Yeah.
So if you're a newcomer, just go to that WhatsApp group and get yourself familiarized with all the amazing things that are happening here.
That's amazing to know. Anosha, would you like to mention some centers that accommodate these children or at a very reasonable prices, or where you prefer parents, that they should go to such and such center and they will be accommodated well there with their convenience?
I think it depends on what type of situation you have. If you're unfamiliar, you feel like your child has an issue, has something to deal with, there's something different, you can always book an appointment in Sidra or Hamad.
And through that
so
you
can
the
get
mainstream
diagnosis.
is Sidra and Hamad, and through where
Rumela also, you can apply at Rumela as well, and then they will give you a big booklet of other centers as well.
They can give you the leads further.
They can
That is good.
They can guide you, and there being services provided by them also. But if you don't want to take there, they can provide you other like private sectors as well. Usually, the private centers are little costly, but in Sidra and Hamad, it's free of cost.
So Anosha, before we take a leave, tell me something beautiful about this country, what Qatar means to you.
Qatar means light, emerging, a place of opportunities. It means a lot to me. It's very close to my culture, the food, the people. It's an amazing place to be.
Any message for the viewers watching you right now before we leave?
I think the most important thing is to not take children as broken. They are not broken. They are amazing in their own ways, and we have to find out the strengths rather than focusing on the challenges. Yes, we are going to work on the challenges, we are going to give them the tools to navigate life, but if you don't have anybody in your family who has autism, all you can do is just be kind and empathetic towards those who have it.
Wow, that's great. Thank you so much for watching us. We will see you soon in our next podcast. But before I leave you, I would like to finish this with a beautiful quote that it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a child with autism to raise the consciousness in the village. So it's a very deep thought. So I will see you soon in my next podcast. Take care. Bye-bye.